Have you ever woken up in the spring and suddenly you get this deep urge just to clean everything out of your closets, you want to clear your calendar, even clear what's going on in your mind? Well, that's not just spring fever. It's your body telling you, begging you for a reset. And that's what we're going to talk about here today. In last week's video, I focused on a slow living approach to spring cleaning your home. This week, we'll talk about how I go about an intentional reset for my mind and my body as well. So one way that I do this is by giving my body a bit of a spring reset. The past few years, I have been doing a week-long spring cleanse, as well as a couple other self-care practices. So with respect to the spring cleanse, in the past, I have done fasts where I don't eat anything for a couple days. I've done juice fasts as well, but what I found seems to work best for me is more of a gentle approach. I really like this Ayurvedic concept of giving your digestive system a bit of a break in the spring and the fall each year, essentially by taking some time to eat the same foods every day. So keeping it super simple, keeping it with food that is really easily digestible. So my cleanse diet literally just consists of stewed apples, khichdi, greens, and beets. And if you're not familiar with what khichdi is, it basically is rice and split mung beans and spices. So the combination of those gives you a whole protein source that is really easy for the body to digest. So I eat stewed apples for breakfast, then khichdi with greens and beets for lunch, and then again, khichdi with greens for dinner. This year, I've had a lot of fun cutting from a number of the greens from my garden to top my khichdi with. I've got some sorrel, which comes back every year. I really love the color of this, and it's got a great lemony taste as well, especially in the springtime while it's still really tender. Also got some baby kale that's coming on. It's just getting started here, and I'm really excited to be able to start snipping from the watercress plants that I started from seed this year as well. All of these bitter greens are really great for just steaming right on top of the khichdi just before you're getting ready to eat it. So then, in a few days after I'm starting to get really bored with this diet plan, I'll start shifting it up just a little bit by eating some oats and raisins with my apples in the morning, and I'll add a different vegetable or two with the khichdi, such as a spring vegetable like asparagus or maybe some broccoli. I really swear by this easy, simple diet approach because it's the main reason that I healed my gut after years of suffering with acid reflux and bloating and all kinds of various forms of indigestion. So if you are new to khichdi and you would like to give it a try, there's lots of recipes out on the internet, but I've also put my recipe for it in the description for this video too. So during my cleanse week, I also drink a couple of teas that are really good for nurturing the liver this time of year. You may know that your liver is your body's primary organ for detoxification. And both of these teas, which I predominantly just drink in the spring, are good for the liver. I particularly like this roasted dandelion root one. Dandelion greens are also one of the greens that I try to eat with my khichdi during my cleanse week. This year, I picked a bunch of dandelion greens with Mom one day while we were out planting some of her spring bulbs, and we just happened to notice them. Usually I find it really hard to get some wild like this because by the time that I notice them, they've already started getting the flower bulbs or they're already blooming. And by that time they get like super bitter. So you want to get them when they're really, really small, just before they start to bloom. And you want to make sure, obviously, if you're doing that, that there's not been chemicals and stuff sprayed on them. You can also find them in the grocery store this time of year. And those tend to be larger than what you're going to find outdoors, and they're less bitter too. Another thing that I like to do to help set myself up for my cleanse week is to remove any leftover sweets or things that I don't want to eat during the cleanse from my cabinets, from my refrigerator, and in the freezer as well. At the same time, I like just to use this as a time to clean my refrigerator, to clear out everything, get rid of any expired things, and then just to stock the refrigerator with what I'll need for the cleanse that week. I also do a bit more dry brushing in the spring as well, and the Ayurvedic practice of Abhyanga, which is a self-massage with oils. While some people say that dry brushing stimulates the lymphatic system, unfortunately, there isn't yet much research out there to support this, but regardless, I like the exfoliated feeling, and it seems like my skin soaks up the massage oils more readily when I have dry brushed beforehand. I also find the massage just extremely calming. And I've noticed that I'm a lot more sensitive in recent years to various scents and chemicals that are often added to lotions. So an oil massage like this becomes a really great way to soften my skin. I also like to do a bit of a mind reset this time of year. I know that many of us, we start all gung-ho with our New Year's resolutions or intentions, perhaps a list of written goals of what you want to accomplish during the year. And at this point, believe it or not, we are almost 1/3 of the way into the new year. So you might want to ask yourself, are you on target for what you would need to accomplish by this time now to meet the goals that you have for the year? And how have you been doing on keeping those intentions that you set? Do you need to refocus and bring some new energy into what you set out to do? Well, I feel like this is a really good time of year to do just that. It has become really clear to me that so much of our success depends on the mindset that we bring to it. The hardest and the most challenging things that I've done over the years or that I've overcome really required me first to have the mindset and to believe that I could do them. And sometimes that's honestly really hard to do, to believe in yourself. And that's why I think it's really helpful to practice actively choosing not only what you're going to focus your attention on to make it happen, but also those beliefs that you need to make this vision of your future even possible. So each season, I start a new journal, and as a part of that practice, I update what I want to focus on in my life, both in written form as well as in the form of a vision board that I can look at each day when I'm using my journal. And I also write down the beliefs that I feel that I really need to reinforce. And then I say them like an affirmation each day when I'm using my journal. This beginning section of my journal really is just as important as the things I write down in it each day. It's my positivity work. And when you repeat a thought over and over again, you literally are creating a new circuit, a new pathway, if you will, in your brain. And since as humans, we are wired to think more negatively in general, just as our way of protecting ourselves. So this daily practice has really helped me become more positive in my life overall. Saying these positive beliefs out loud each day, also, I feel like it helps me to be more motivated to actually do the things that I need to do to accomplish the things that I'm working on in my life. And I honestly can tell a real difference on the days when I start my morning with affirmations and the days that I don't. You might wonder how I decide what new beliefs I want to work on. And usually these come from places in my life where I feel like I'm struggling or that I have doubts about myself or just have doubts in general. What I'll try to do is I'll think about what beliefs I've noticed like that, and then I'll flip them around to be positive instead. As an example, there's always so much that I want to get done in a day, and I have a general tendency to think that I don't have time to get it all done. This belief is a real simple and easy one to flip around and make it an affirmation. I have plenty of time. So when I say I have plenty of time first thing in the morning, typically the first thing that comes to my mind is doubt, because I'm thinking at the same time of all the things that I want to do today. So I will immediately say it again, this time with like more conviction. And at the same time, I will remind myself that there's countless ways to accomplish the things that I'm getting ready to do that day. And I can choose how to do things in a way that's more efficient. I can do things in a way that may take less time and do them a little bit differently. In thinking this way over a period of time, I've really gotten a lot better about cutting out completely what doesn't seem to bring a whole lot of value to whatever I'm doing. After years of trying to do everything and failing miserably at that, I've realized that it's a lot smarter to pick out the things with the biggest impact and to focus on those and just let go of the rest of it as much as you possibly can. When you're working with trying to create new beliefs, I think one thing that's really helpful to remember is to focus on the fact that there usually are endless possibilities for most things. And if you can't see these possibilities for yourself, then try thinking about other people that manage to do what it is that you're wanting to do. And remind yourself, if they can do it, you can too. So I hope you have found one or two things at least that you can take away from this video today and to practice in your own life. Let me know in the comments too if there are other ways that you approach giving yourself a spring reset, or if you're going to do one of these practices that we've talked about today. Love to hear that. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sharing here. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you being here, and just have a great rest of your day.